This is part 2 of solving multiple step equations. And so in this video, we're actually going to talk more about when you have to use the distributive property or other steps such as that. So on number 3 here, it says solve this equation. And like I said, we're going to have to use the distributive property. So I'm going to rewrite this a little bigger so that word solve is not there. So we're going to multiply 2 by each of these two pieces. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10x plus 4 equals negative 8. After you get done with the distributive property, then we need to go back and combine like terms. So the 2 and the 4 are like terms. Remember, like terms have the same variable and the same exponent. 2 plus 4 is 6. So then we're back to a regular two-step equation. First step, get rid of this add 6 by subtracting 6. Negative 10x equals adding these two together, negative 14. So now getting rid of this negative 10, it's multiplied, so the opposite of multiply is divide. So we're going to divide by negative 10. So x in this case is equal to 1.4. In this question, it says that you run so many miles each day, and you want to take your whole weekly average and average 1.5 miles per day. And remember, when we want to find an average, we take all of our numbers, total amount, so add everything together and then divide by the number of terms. So in this case, we're going to add together all of the miles that we ran, including Friday. And so that would be 2 plus 0 plus 1.5 plus 0 plus x. And since there are 5 days, we're going to divide this by 5. And we want that total to be 1.5 miles per day. So this is kind of the equation that we're going to solve. So we're going to combine like terms above this division bar. This division bar is kind of like a grouping symbol. We have to do what's up on top first to solve this equation. So we have 2 plus 0 plus 1.5 plus 0. So adding those together, we get 3.5 plus x divided by 5 equals 1.5. Now, solving this, the next step we would have to do is get rid of this dividing bar here. Normally we'd subtract first, but because this dividing bar separates this into two parts, we have to get rid of the denominator first. So we're going to multiply by 5. Multiply by 5. This is actually called a grouping symbol. And when you do, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, please is parentheses or grouping symbols. And in this case, this division bar is a grouping symbol. So that's why we're getting rid of this first. So now we're going to multiply. X equals 1.5 times 5 is 7.5. Oops, but this, I forgot, this is still here. We just got rid of this part. And so now, last step, subtract 3.5 from both sides. And you would get 7.5 minus 3.5 is 4 miles. Let's see if that makes sense. So if we wanted to run 1.5 miles every day, the first day we ran 2 miles, so we have an extra half mile. But on day 2, we didn't run at all. So we have this extra half mile that can count for one of our halves, but we still have 1 mile short. Day 3 here, we ran 1.5, so that one comes out to a 0. It's exactly what we needed. Day 4, we didn't run at all. So here we were missing a mile. Here we're missing 1.5 miles. So that's 2.5 miles so far. Plus then Friday, we need another 1.5 miles. So 2.5 plus another 1.5 equals 4 miles. So this does make sense, yes. Okay, so let's go to the next page here, and there's some for you to try. There's distributive properties problems, and then one of these where you're going to solve using what we did in the second example. You can pause now and come back. Okay, for number 4, we did the distributive property and we got negative 3x minus 6, and then we combined our like terms to get 2x minus 6 equals negative 9. Add 6 to both sides first, then divide by 2, and you should get x equals negative 1.5. For number 5, doing the distributive property again, we get 3d minus 1.5. Combine our two like terms, and we get 3d plus 3.5. And we're going to subtract 3.5 from each side and divide by 3, and you should get d equals negative 1. On number 6, you have 4 test scores, so we divided by 4. And these are the 3 test scores that you actually know, and the one you don't know. You want an average of 90. So first step, you can combine these to get 267 plus x over 4. Next, we're going to get rid of this 4 here, the grouping symbol thing. So we're going to multiply by 4, and we get 267 plus x equals 360. Subtract the 267 from both sides, and you will find you need a 93%.